This duo started their partnership in live theater, found out they had a unique blend with harmonies. Misner and Smith are releasing an LP, their sixth, April 12th, and I'm talking with Sam Misner and Megan Smith. How are you today?
Hi, we're good. Thanks for talking with us.
We're great, thanks.
So the first song off this LP has already been released. It's called Anthem. The music video's up. You can stream it on all of your favorite music outlets. And what a cool song. So you guys have been working on this album since, 2017?
Yeah.
In one way or another we have. I mean, we were supposed to start recording March of 2020 and, certain things in the world made that impossible. But yeah, some of these songs had been started writing in 2017, getting ready to record, and one thing led to another, and we didn't get to start really until the very beginning of 2020, doing some demos, and then everything ground to a halt, and then it took us a couple of years to get back to it. So it's a long time in the making, but in so many ways, that extra time, well, one or two songs wouldn't have been written if we had recorded at the original start date, but also all of the songs, including Anthem, really grew with the extra time we had kind of incubating with them.
You're out of Northern California, right?
Yeah, we're in a little sort of college town called Davis, California. Mm-hmm. It's pretty close to Sacramento, which is the capital city of California here. It's actually a really nice spot to be based in because it's sort of in the middle of all the freeways to go north, south, east, west, and we're kind of in the middle of that little junction.
Is this where your artwork for the album was inspired?
We are close to the Sierra Nevada mountains, and the graphic designer we were working with.
Yeah, we were both sort of born and raised here in Northern California too. So like all of we're incredibly outdoorsy people. Yeah. So like we're really informed and inspired by being outdoors, being close to nature, and we're really lucky in Northern California. We have a ton of really special spots that we can visit. They're pretty close.
We're close to the mountains and close to the ocean.
Nice. So, Megan, I was going to actually ask you if you were the one who did the artwork, because I was kind of looking at the online musical days you were doing, I guess, Saturdays in your living room. But I saw that you had put the streaming soon, and you made that little graphic that had you waiting for the video to come up. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm like, I wonder if she did the artwork.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that you noticed that. I did not do the artwork for the album. We have two main people who did artwork for the album. One was our graphic designer, Kyle Mulholland, who is also a Davis person right here in town. And then we have a friend from sort of our theater background who is somebody we've worked with, on plays, on stage, and he's also a really accomplished artist, visual artist. He does a lot of drawings and all kinds of stuff. So we asked him if he might be inspired to do something for the album as well, specifically for our song, Sadie's Song, which is going to be the third single that will precede the album release in April. And so he did this beautiful piece for the inside of the lyric sheet. That is inside the physical copy of the CD. We did do CDs. And he also did another graphic that is symbol kind of our theater background, but also it comes up in a lot of, at least two of the songs on the album, which is referred to as a ghost light, which I don't know if you're familiar with, but in theater, we put it on the stage when all the other work lights and stage lights are turned off. So when you enter the theater, you have just this like one ghostly light on the center of the stage so that you don't, basically you don't fall off the end of the stage. Right. It's sort of a safety thing. But they call it a ghost light, and it became kind of symbolic for us, and we wanted it to be represented sort of visually. So his name is Patrick Kelly Jones, and he did those two pieces for us. So
well, it's great that you're still connected with the live theater. Are you both still doing live theater, or are you just doing this now? I shouldn't say just. Are you strictly doing this?
This 3 full-time jobs. No. We are still involved in theater. We haven't acted in a little while because we've been focused on music. But one of the songs off of the new album is actually a sort of co-write, in a way, with Shakespeare, because I had been asked to write music to Shakespeare's lyrics in a show called As You Like It out at the Colorado Shakespeare Festival in Boulder in 2019. So I wrote music to lyrics that existed already, and the cast sang and played them. And as we were starting to gather songs together for the new album in 2019, when we were about to go into the studio, Megan had suggested, hey, you know that song you wrote for the As You Like It, I think we could do a really good version of it, and it would be a great addition to the album. So that's what we did, and I, in fact, wrote lyrics to a third verse. So on the album, the third verse is actually lyrics that I wrote, kind of trying to connect our own modern-day experiences with the same themes of the song that Shakespeare was exploring. So it was, and that song is really all about the way that the forces of nature can be cruel and they can be so brutal, but they are nothing compared to how brutal and cruel we can be to each other as human beings. So that's something that, you know, was true 400 years ago and unfortunately still true today.
I can't wait to hear this whole album, because listening to Anthem, so going into this morning, I was kind of in a bad mood. And then I went into the studio, listened to it, but I watched the music video with it. And seriously, by the end of the song, I felt great. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, what music can do. But there's certain songs that need to get you out of a slump. You know what I mean? It was really cool. So I thought I'd just mention that, because that is
that's cool.
It's a really neat song. And even watching the video, like, I could watch it multiple times and find new things in it each time. And you can tell that you guys are in theater. And I didn't know that at the time, because that was the first thing I did when I was like, okay, I'm talking to these two today. You know, what are they all about? Let's watch the music video. And that was the first thing I did. And then when I read you were in theater, I was like, I see that.
Oh, well, that's such a huge compliment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what that song is all about and meant to be, is, you know, finding an anthem of your own to pick you up when it doesn't feel like anything else will. So
I would say a lot of the music that Sam writes, because he's our songwriter, and then I come in and arrange together with him, and we add the harmonies and the bass and sort of like go outwards from there, kind of build from the inside out. And the themes that Sam explores a lot are themes of hope, themes of just acknowledging the darkness, but also kind of celebrating that we're still here, even despite the darkness, and that hope is something that you have to kind of make, you know, it's not just kind of there.
Yeah.
But that song really is very emblematic of that for us, I think.
Without the darkness, you don't realize how good the light is, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's kind of what the album is. I mean, you just sort of summed it up.
Yeah.
That is really what it's all about. And
we tended to find themes, not that we intended to write a whole album with themes that kind of ran through it here and there, but as we were working, we spent a whole year working on the album, and it's like songs were written in different years and, you know, came at different times, but there were these threads that kind of revealed themselves as we were working in the studio. And that, what you said, is certainly one of them. You know, we try to write towards hope, in a way, is what we say a lot. That, you know, you might not have it when you're writing the song, but you kind of aim for where that hope is. You know, it's a lot about trust and faith and getting help from each other.
Yeah,
you know?
collaboration, yeah.
Well, and it must have helped, like, feeling that through the pandemic. I noticed you were really keeping music lovers connected with those Saturday nights from your living room. Your dog Sadie made an appearance. Your mom, Megan, is really involved there, and she's replying and fielding all the comments.
That's right. Oh, she had so much fun doing that. And we still do it every now and then because the community is still out there, and they still love to come together every now and then, even though life has gone back to a semblance of normality. So that was a real gift for us, because we didn't know if people would really need it, but we needed it, and we needed to reach out because we felt, you know, like many people did, isolated. And so much of how we communicate with people is through our music, and having all our shows canceled like many other musicians. Obviously, this is not something that just happened to us.
Right. We
really felt the need to reach out and try to get in touch with people in any way we could. And we went through a lot of we grew in many ways in technological knowledge. We grew in and it kept our chops up, kind of like, you know, being able to look forward to a show every week. And the people who came were so supportive and grateful, and there was a whole community that got built around it. Everybody kind of knows each other, and now we do shows out in sort of live performance in out of our living room because things are open again. I'll say something, or Sam will say something about the live from our living rooms, and we'll say how many people tuned in, and then they will all kind of talk with each other after the show, and be like, oh, I know you, yeah. It's so cool, yeah.
Oh, that's great. And you were keep it up with your instruments. How many instruments do you both play?
Well, we played a lot of instruments on this album. I played all of the acoustic and electric guitars, except for an amazing guest artist, Nina Gerber, played on we did one cover. It was a Kate Wolf song, beautiful Kate Wolf song. But in terms of instruments, I played all the electric and acoustic guitars. Megan played all of the bass and electric bass, and she played some harmonium, some keyboards. I
saw you with a banjo on your living room set, too.
That might have been a mandolin. I don't think the pandemic is hazy. I will say that.
We do own a banjo.
We own one, but I don't.
I don't know if you brought it out. I played a mandolin as well. That might have been what you thought. And we did. I did do a bunch of mandolin on the album as well, which was super fun. I mean, being in a studio is such a rare opportunity because it's so fun to be able to layer in all kinds of different things that, obviously it has to make sense for the song. And that was sort of a lighthouse for us was what is the song calling for? We didn't do anything just to do it, but it was fun to sort of stretch ourselves. I know one of the main things we really wanted to do was explore the electric possibilities, especially for Sam on electric guitar, but also for me, there's a song called Kerosene on the album that is very rhythm and blues. It's very rockin', and the acoustic bass just wasn't kind of doing it, and we needed something to change for that. So I picked up, we actually bought an electric bass for me, and then I spent some months with it trying to, get proficient on it, work up a really good bass line for that song, and it worked out great. We're so pleased with it. So, taking that time was just great because we got to actually get better at what we already do and also kind of push ourselves to do more as well. It was so much fun.
So where was this album recorded?
It was recorded a couple hours south of us in the southern Bay Area in a little corner of a town called Niles, which is very cool. It's like an old railroad stop right nestled into the East Bay Hills. And it's sort of got famous because Charlie Chaplin actually had his first movie studio was there, and The Tramp was filmed in the Niles Canyon, and we had no idea before we recorded our last album there years ago that this town was even around. And there's a silent movie little museum. It's a very cool little place, and this studio called Niagara Falls, and our good friend Bruce Kappen, who is the engineer and who owns the studio, had us back, and that's where we made this album. And
Bruce co-produced this album with you, right? And yes. He'll be at your release party in May?
That's right.
Yeah.
He's been in the music business for a very long time, and he talk about multi-instrumentalist. He plays all kinds of things. He's a world-class, he's a renowned pedal steel player, but he's been working up these parts for our live shows to perform with us. I can't play mandolin while I'm playing bass, so he will. And he's playing, sometimes a couple different instruments in one song, like the keyboards, and then he'll flip to the electric guitar, and then he'll flip to the keyboards again, and maybe to the pedal steel. So
yeah,
he's a lot of fun to watch on stage. He's like a show in himself.
Yeah.
But working with him has been truly one of the most important things in our musical careers, because we have a real friendship with him as well as a working relationship, and he's been kind of instrumental in getting kind of the best out of us. He's really good at meeting us where we are and honoring our music, and not, there are some producers who want to put their stamp on things and really kind of take over, and Bruce is just not like that. That's great for some musicians, but we have a really clear idea of what we want our music to come across like, and Bruce is incredibly diligent and works very hard to achieve what he's hearing us ask for, and what he's hearing us reach for. And so working with him has been just really important for us as in our growth as musicians. And we're really lucky to have him on board with all of this stuff.
And it'll be great to be on stage with them and hear this
It's so
music,
fun to play with.
Realized in a live setting too. So we're really excited, and it's a great venue to debut this album with.
So when you regularly play live, it's just the two of you?
Most of the time, it's the two of us. We have played with other musicians and still will, and we're going to do as many shows as we can with Bruce and with the drummer, Dylan Votto, who played all the songs on the record. And he's an incredible musician in his own right. But most of the time when we tour, for a number of reasons, it's the duo. Frankly, we can't always afford to bring other people with us on the road. But we pride ourselves with a really full sound with just two of us. What you can get with an upright bass and a guitar and two voices we really strive to be more than the sum of the parts. And the harmony singing, I will say, is probably the most important part of creating that more than the sum of its parts feel. Because, we kind of think of ourselves as two lead singers who also sing harmony.
Right.
Because it's so often the song isn't really a lead singer and a backup singer. It's two voices.
And also being in the studio and being able to really pull the songs apart and put them back together was so fun. And we were able to, after the studio, kind of do that with the duo versions of the songs. We were able to kind of, take what we learned in the studio and how the songs are presented on the album and adjust our own sort of duo versions to fit that more closely. And people have noticed, actually.
Yeah.
We've had people come up to us after we've been in the studio for a while, and we were continuing to do live shows, and they'd come up after the show and be like, hey, whatever you're doing in the studio, keep doing it, because it's working. It's really working. So that's also been a huge part of how far we've come with this album. It's been really transforming.
Yeah.
Well, and playing together, because you guys have been doing this for almost 20 years now?
It'll be 20 years in March.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Great news. Like that.
So,
Yeah.
What an anniversary to celebrate before releasing your 6th LP.
It really is. It feels kind of amazing that the way it has timed out, and so often through the process, with delays and things taking longer for a number of reasons, each time it has, it's gone a little longer or something has happened, it has felt like, I'm glad that this or that happened, because one of these songs wouldn't have been written if we'd done it this way, or, any number of things. It's really kind of felt like things have, as challenging as they can be and have been at times, it feels like, things are moving in the right direction, and the timing, for the most part, has worked to our advantage.
Yeah, I feel like this whole thing has just been one long celebration of how many years we have been together and doing this, and every opportunity we get to share music off the album and what we've done in live performance. It always feels like isn't this part of what the celebration is just being able to still do it and still enjoy it and have something new to offer that we're really proud of. We've never worked so hard on anything before, and it just feels like such a thing that we can really kind of celebrate with ourselves as well, and feel really proud that we completed it.
Well, if the rest of the album is anything like Anthem, because that is such a neat song, and it was great to watch the video, but your voices together are magical, and I wish you all the best with your release party and the LP dropping April 12th. Thank you so much for taking the time with me today. It was great to talk to you.
Our pleasure, Dana. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. It was fun. Nice to talk to you today.